Okay, start.
So I joined in June 1st, 2016, and well, that's practically just how I became, well, a 4-year-old player. Sorry if I'm not paying attention to this, I'm in another game, but yeah, I joined because of Rusher's video in my recommended feed. I didn't really watch Rusher at the time, I just saw most of the video in my recommended here and there, and I was like, should I watch it? And then I got interested of the server because it's unique, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pulled into the server because of stuff like you get to see a build and stuff like that. It did change throughout the years, though. Like, you didn't really see too much of that because people keep destroying it all and etc. Do you have anything you'd like to push me about? Because there are some things.
Maybe exploring some, as I told, some cool, interesting bases about what you can explain, what basis was built during Russia War, and then maybe grief it or maybe not.
Well, I never really griefed any base, nor did I visit. I did want to
But
visit
you was
some base.
but you was a member of some bases maybe.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while till we get there. It was 4 years. Throughout most of those 4 years, I just lived alone and stuff. I did, however, get out of spawn on my first try without any hacks or deaths. So that's quite the accomplishment for me back then. Not many people you see would actually do that. And then I made my little house or fix a house near Ziggy Base or Passy. Or no. Uh, yeah, Ziggy Base.
Did you was did you participate in any event, interesting event?
Say what?
Uh, did you participate in interesting event? Some events.
Mm, not during the Russia war, no.
Oh, maybe you
Yeah.
know about some exploit that happens.
Oh, well, I'll get to that. But
Uh,
for when I was like fed up with living at my house near spawn, I just said I'll be leaving now, and I packed my everything and I just left. You know,
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
I wanted to like build up my supplies, make it better, and get diamond armor and all this stuff. Since I was still playing in vanilla, I was just like any other old player. But I didn't really know how to get a client at the time, so I just dealt with it.
Yeah, when you started using Hackett clients and why?
Well, it was brought to me by a friend since he showed me that I can do more with a client and see more,
What's
you know.
okay? What was available during this time? Maybe some interesting
Oh,
type kinds of transportation. Maybe bot fly or elytra fly.
yeah. There was a lot of things back then that we don't really have the luxury of having nowadays. Like entity speed and bullfly, yeah. Normal speed, however, was also a thing. You could just turn on speed hacks and probably go a lot faster now.
Hmm. What? Wait. What max speed you can use? You mm, yours
I have
can't
no.
use.
I I don't know. I didn't really use much back then. What I did do was when I escaped from my house to go get a better life, I x-rayed some diamonds near Ziggy Town. I never really was there. I was close to it. I was only 200 blocks away from it.
Wait, you was member of Ziggy Town? I understand incorrectly. Sorry.
No, I wasn't a member of Ziggy. I was just probably the first rusher to be closest to it at the time,
Oh, okay.
without any knowledge of knowing what it was, because there was no video about it.
You can continue your story
Yeah.
about
So
how
when I
you
run,
joined. Yeah. Sorry.
so when I X-rayed some diamonds and stuff, made my gear, I didn't really bring my first iron armor set, and I did kind of regret not doing so. What I did do with it is ditch it in a chest or near Ziggy Pace, which for 4 years would be a regret in my life till later in the story, which something great happens to it. I made my diamond armor, found some enchanted books, some old rusher chests or something, and made my first diamond armor. It wasn't great, really. Not much of it was protection or anything.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. And then I traveled to 20K in the overworld. I'd never used the nether once. And it took me like 3 days. It I made it to a place where you would eventually see it. It's like a house, tiny house with, yeah, the flag and the floating signs and all that.
You didn't use Nether highways because you didn't know about its existence.
No, I just really used the overworld just to find some more bases to see the land and all that.
It was just interesting to find bases, right?
Yeah, because that's what I came to 2B for, to see the old historical landmarks.
I'm just interested what happens with that base that streamer Fast Vincent 1 found.
Oh, well, if you would call the one with the floating islands. Dig MC made a video on it, then Baron Dome found it, probably took some pictures. Some 2015 player found it. And then Fast Vincent found it on stream with coordinates. So that was kind of impressive to have like 3 YouTubers find it.
I'm just
Make
interested to what happens. Who did
uh,
it? Who did it all experiments?
I did. I did all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
This was during 2000, early 2019.
but is there a way to repeat this but now? Or it was
No,
all patched?
it was all patched. Maybe there probably was a way to still do it, but I wouldn't know.
But can we try it?
It's difficult to do. I'll
Because
get to how
oh,
I did it though, but
because
during
one
my
oops, sorry.
hmm?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You go.
Because Russian YouTuber Zakviel tried to make floating red torch and pin it to dragon egg and crash server using this
Yeah,
method. But you did it. You
yeah.
made
My
floating
method
torch.
was from a dupe.
So it's interesting to repeat. I want to try
Yeah,
it too.
yeah, I just probably. I don't.
Did you use some hacked clients for making this, or is this all vanilla?
This was all vanilla,
Oh,
all of it. So I'll continue with my life on 2B story now,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and to get to that point soon. So I made that house and did all this other stuff. Just sit there, watch some more history videos, and notice that many of the places that I wanted to visit no longer existed because they were either blown up or just etc. Found, looted, and they weren't there anymore. Say the Valley of Wheat back in 20 late 2017 or 20 early 2016 when it was still there. I wanted to visit that while it was still intact. People, but what up? So I just got a new account from a friend and just started living at Spawn. And this is when I found a place called the Penny Dropper. It was a gold farm made by Jared 20 in 2013 and Taylor, I think. It was being maintained by some other Spawn players who gave me some food at the time. It was great. There's some video of it still out there if you are interested. Anyway,
What next?
yeah. When the place was blown up or getting intact and whatnot, people left like a bunch of duped items there. And this was like during a whole week. Usually, when there was people there and there was duped items, I didn't touch anything to be a good person there. But when everyone left and they just left all this stuff, I was like, sure, why not? And this was during the time of a brand new dupe with the crafting book, where you can just spam something in your crafting grid and drop an item, and it would dupe. It was found by or leaked by Kino Rona, I should say. And so then on, I would have duped some items. I did make some stacked items, stacked elytras. I had them. And then I got disconnected. It's funny. And came back and everything was unstacked. It was sad. But yeah, that's probably the first time I did find some good stuff. And the next time, like I fast forward a year later, with the Beardlers, where his all these bases are getting leaked. And I get a message from a friend saying all these bases are getting leaked, and here's the coordinates to one. I went to it. There was some person there. He logged, and then I started to find some items. It was XCC2's, Jack the Ripper's, and Willy Wolf's stash from the Fourth Incursion. Probably some Netati items in there too from past encounters, but yeah. So me and my friend, we got most of it, and then his friends came. I didn't know they were coming, and they just took everything else and left me with the little itty bitty parts of it. Sadly, I couldn't get most of it, and I never spoke with this friend, like ever really.
So,
Yeah, I it was weird though having like some old player's items that you didn't really know who he was and yada yada yada. Just having all these items and everyone else had all these items. It wasn't really important. So knowing that all the items I had were like completely useless, I went full time with collecting during late 2018. And I will send you some pictures later of um, my collection that I collected over the years.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, was probably the largest original collection in 2B with original banners, original armor. I even had Pyrobyte's Paramount in there, completely damaged to breaking. I had O'Malley Mix's 2012 iron armor, his 2812 diamond armor, some 20. You get it. It's from his stash. There was also a sword from O'Malley Mix. You know when they first introduced like the enchantments and all that, and people were just trying to rush to get the best ones. He made a sword Max Bane of Anthropods because he didn't really know what it did, right?
Yeah.
It was completely useless because Bane of Anthropods only works on spiders. So it was a good collectible item. I also did have a copper collection, totem collection, a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And I also had a dog while travel in 2016 that I tamed and I left back at spawn, but I couldn't really take care of it because of all my adventures on Tubi. There was a pickaxe I had found at the Fitz Pop Pop's castle video
Oh.
where he looks at the floating lava. Underneath that, there's a little bunker with a diamond pickaxe. I had that too. I was the first one there to get it. There's just a lot of. Anyway, during early 2019, a friend of mine told me a method to start duping, and it involved books with a lot of characters in them, like
You
China
knew
text.
you knew a dupe?
Yeah, yeah, it was a dupe with a
With
written
donkeys?
book. No, not that one.
Chunk
It
dupe.
was yes, that's the one. It was a chunk dupe. So he gave me some books since I couldn't really make them myself, and I just started duping all the stuff I had over the years to give me an actual stash. And I wondered, if this dupe can revert your chunks, what happens if I put something on a wall
Oh,
and it
this is
chunks?
was base about it all, yeah?
Yeah, with the floating items.
Yeah.
So
It was.
I wondered, and then when I did it, I just made a floating sign, and I was like, what the hell is this? And I kept doing it with the water and all of that, and just made a bunch of little weird things. I
But
was making a museum for these items right next to that place, but the dupe was patched and I couldn't really make any, unfortunately.
but wait. This method was completely patched or
It was
maybe
completely
just dupe patched.
the 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 dupe was patched onto.
But we can
Yeah,
try. We still can try this method.
you can still try, but I doubt it would work. Anyway, oh yeah, I would suggest not doing it because there was talk of Housemaster deleting stashes years ago and all that from that dupe. So it's not really the best thing to do anymore. And then, what else? Yeah, Dig MC made that video. He just found that place one day. I didn't know he made the video actually. His a friend of mine told me it was made. And I was like, wow, my little house has its own video. I didn't really think it would get this far, or anyone would really care since it's a tiny house. But it wasn't the house that made it special, it was the floating signs and all that. And that's really also what started my um, rise to getting notoriety in 2B, just from that one video.
So then,
And Baron Dome also visited in the next coming months. Yeah, yeah. I did one day see Xeon, and I messaged him. He was a really great guy, to be honest. I was just interested because I never really saw any of these old players on much, so I just wanted to say hi. And he said hi and back, and he showed me coordinates to some old builds that I visited from. They were from 2011 to 2013. Really old places. Very great.
is that a non-steel griffith? Non-griffiths.
Yeah, they're all griefed, unfortunately.
Oh, bad.
But maybe one day someone will fix them all. And yeah, that's also what brought me closer to another group that is I can't really talk about because it's secret. And basically, I joined that group in November. And ever since, I've just been learning new things about 2B that I wouldn't have ever known. Things like how FitMC is a fraud, where he makes a whole video on the wrong group, right? The
Mhm.
Brotherhood of the Diamond video, he did it wrong.
Can you give
There was
link?
two groups, huh?
Can you give link to this video?
Yeah, I will. But the Brotherhood of the Diamond video he made, it was wrong. That everything in that video he said belonged to another group called the Federation of Diamonds, which were two different groups. They had the
I know
same
FitMC lying
name.
always.
Yeah, they had the same name, but it's just so they over exaggerate. That's really what brought me away from him. Anyway, I met some more players, introduced them to the group I was in. Speed Demon, of course, the guy who fixed Raph in Fit's latest video.
Yeah, I know.
And I've met other people like Nambros and Turbin, Overfloyd. They're all great people. All Nambros invited me to his Raph village one day, and he was just trying to make it a little great party and all this. And since the a replica RAF hadn't really had anything that separated it from the second incursion RAF, I thought I would get something special for it. So I went into the ends, grabbed an unbreakable end crystal, brought it all the way back into the overworld, took it all the way back to RAF Village, and put it up on top of it, where it won't be destroyed or moved forever. Just like the bedrock in the original Wrath. But yeah, no one really points out that stuff. And during the recreation or the rebuild of the latest, old original Wrath, I also put an unbreakable crystal. I was gonna also take an unbreakable crystal to my little house during the chunk dupe, since you could clone those unbreakable end crystals with the chunk dupe.
Can
Just
I
put
can I
it
ask
in.
something?
Hmm?
Uh, how long Chanzup was available?
Like 4 months around
Oh,
that. Yeah, I wasn't
is it
really
too
that
much?
much time. Hmm?
Is it a lot of time?
Yeah, that was a lot of time. it was very overpowered. Very. You can dupe thousands of items in like milliseconds if you wanted. Let's see. I started to become allied in more groups throughout 2B's history. The New Face Punch Republic, Guardsmen, Southern Canal Corp, all these amazing groups had that just brought me in one day,
I wanted.
which I would really have to thank my original group that I was brought in because I would have never been a part of these other.
By the way, I wanted to join Glassman's, but Hermit Clock didn't respond me.
Well, you would have to be vouched by other players, really. That's not really technically the case because there's more to it. It's weird. I was going to get initiated to the guardsman one night, and Herm even said it. We were going to initiate him to the guardsman tonight. They never initiated me to the guardsman that night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't really mind. I have more projects in 2B that were special, like making bases and all this other stuff. Oh yeah, you were there when I was moving Shulker to the Overlord, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you explain?
Yeah.
Can you explain and tell story about it?
I was going to
Uh,
get every single mob into the history. This means every variety of mob too, just not like zombie, skeleton. I meant like you know how zombies spawn with pumpkins. I was gonna get those zombies that spawn with swords, zombies that spawn with shovels, zombies that can hold items, zombies that can hold items. Same for the skeletons and all those other things. Every kind of zombie villager, every kind of normal villager, every kind of horse, etc. The hard part really was keeping a wither inside of its body. You know,
mm,
I would have been able to pull that out since I got 7 chokers into the overworld. The last one's still alive
can I
somewhere.
come to this place versus mobs?
Yeah,
Just take a look.
I can, yeah, I can bring it to you one day. Anyways, when I was bringing that shulker to its final home, I had to go take care of other business, and yeah, the base I was taking it to was destroyed, unfortunately, with probably 2B's biggest collection in it still. I just left it out. I was going to go back there in a week, put it all together, organize it, make a clone of it
Wait, you
too.
you have base with collections of to be?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice, very nice.
It was a base. I can explain part. It was a base that had every single how do you say special parts of every 2B base at one place, essentially. And then the place was found like 4 months later. When it was first founded, it wasn't that far from spawn, which I regret. During me living at said base, I found out a couple of things, like my dog from 2017 was still at spawn. So I
Already.
went, yeah, so I went to the base on my main account, had a friend go to my dog. He put the dog at my base, which I haven't seen this dog in 4 years, and I was very happy at the since it was my oldest surviving pet on 2B, still surviving from spawn, not dead all these years later.
Can I ask one thing? Russia bot is it really was bot?
Yeah, it was really a bot. I should tell this to your audience that
But when,
it.
but when you started playing with this account and it
Ah.
stopped being a bot.
So when I bought Russia a few months back, it was book banned because book bans were a thing from the chunk tube and all that, and just normal China books with all this text can chunk ban or kick book someone.
Yeah.
So someone gave a kick book, a chunk book to or ban book to a Russia bot, and he was banned. He couldn't reconnect. Anyway, the owner of Russia bot just came onto a separate server that I was on one day, asked if anyone wanted to buy Russia bot, and I was the first one.
But you bought?
So,
You bought it? Oh, really?
yeah, yeah, I bought it.
Wow. And then you started to use this account as your alt account.
Yeah, like after the whole chunk ban was patched or ban book thing, I got to still use Rusherbot again and all this stuff. Rusherbot had some alleles on it, I think. Yeah, who cares really? I had a friend that had everything,
But
and then more people started to well really notice me because I was using Rusherbot as a joke. Since Rusherbot was also replaced later with a new Rusherbot with an O, people were very confused why there were two Rusherbot with an O,
it's
Rusherbot with
funny.
a zero. Yeah. And then usually in chat I would give people wrong commands. Like you joined 1 day ago or something. You have 9999 time in the server, all this. It was great. Some people actually believed it too. And the funny thing about Rusherbot is you could take it to spawn naked. People would give you stuff too. It was very nice. So
Oh.
yeah, I use Rusherbot until it's prio right. Really.
Do you have any collectible items like a signed book from some players, maybe?
Oh yeah, I had thousands of them
Oh,
before the base blew up, of course.
what?
The one I was talking about earlier. It had most of my stuff in it.
Can
Not
I
all of it,
take a
but
look
most.
later of that? Take screenshot.
That's the issue. It doesn't exist anymore. It only exists in the world download now,
Oh,
which still to me is the
it
same thing
it was
as
griffed.
having it on. I don't know if it blew up or not. That's the thing.
Can you
Some
give
of
me a
it,
world download, please? Sorry.
I can't really tell where, but it was it was a very special place. Maybe I can share some pictures of it
Oh
so you
yeah,
could
yeah, I need.
see how big it really was. But yeah, I had many books from like the Sal C1 book collection, Coordinate Haunts, Baron Dome books from when I showed him Underwater Lava, all this stuff.
I want make some base with signed book from all the B2T players that I see.
Yeah, I did that too, where I made a brand new book at Cloud Club, and I would give it to a player. He would sign his name in it. He wouldn't sign the book, but he would just sign his name on it in the day or something. And it would give me the book back, and then I would give it to another person. They would do the same over and over and over again until this book was filled with names. This book was also stolen or blown up. I don't really know for sure. Anyway, I had a lot of those books. It's just too many to count. Some from XC and some from Passy. The Passy book, though, it was just
I have interesting
yeah,
books too.
yeah,
I can show you if you want.
yeah. I can see them there. But
Okay.
the Passy 5 book, it was the first book he had ever signed in years, and I was very honored to.
Oh, But
Really?
is there still
Yeah.
these books not only in World Download but on TV too?
That's the issue. I don't know if they still exist or not. They probably blew up or not.
Oh, you can check out that.
Hope. Wait,
Can we do it?
the what? See the world
Check
download?
out, yeah.
I don't know. I would have to get someone else to ask first, but
If it was
it
blew
would.
up or not.
I just don't know, man. It probably did. Since the person who did blow it up really wasn't thinking straight, and then I talked to the group that griefed it, they demoted that person. Isn't that funny? Because they find the base, they grief it, they didn't really care about moving collectibles, they just start blowing stuff up and they get demoted in that group. Yeah.
Okay, so
And mhm.
if you have time, you can then later send me coordinates. I will come and take a look of maybe bases you told.
Sure.
This
I can show
all
you.
single mob, as you told.
I can show you some bases. Yeah, this base grief, this major base grief happened May, so I'm still kind of bummed out that most of my items were in there. Even the diamond armor sets that I made in 2016, remember that? Yeah, that was there. Most of those stuffs were there.
And it's still
So,
alive.
I don't know. It's probably out there. Pyro's Paramount armor, Malik's mix, all this stuff. Yeah, it just went.
But you moved
If
Shulker
you
there.
hmm,
You moved
what?
Shulker there, right?
No, I didn't. Nope,
Oh, but
not
where?
yet. Somewhere. I'll show you soon, but I still have the shelter somewhere. But he's not going there anymore. I can tell you that. Anyway, the iron armor that I put in a chest in 2016 near Ziggy Day. Um, yeah, it turns out throughout the 4 years I I left it there. A friend of mine in the group that I'm in found it the same week I left it. I met this friend only a few months ago, and I didn't know he had the armor until like March, and that armor set he still has it, which is very crazy because I would have thought a normal player would have taken it from a chest and probably died with it, but no. A friend of mine that I had not known existed on the server in like 2016 found it and just kept it all these years. And it's probably the oldest item that I have that still exists on the server.
Okay, if you can, I will not leak it. Can you show base with this shulker or collectible? I
The collectible?
oh no,
Yeah, the
no,
collectibles.
maybe
I
items or
can't.
maybe a single mob as you told place when the shulker or a single mob. Just interesting.
I can show you the shulker soon.
Okay, you will send picture
Yep.
or maybe word download.
Yeah, I will be able to.
Okay,
Let
so
me find it.
you can write me in private message.
Sure.
Okay, see you soon.
Yeah. But wait, is there anything else you would like to ask me?
Wait, what?
Is there anything else? You got any more questions?
No, I don't know what to
Oh,
ask. I can later maybe.
okay. It was a great interview, man.
What
It was a good interview.
thing?
Yeah, let me find this image for you since it is quite something. Like, it's really something.
Okay.
But it will be a while.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
It's no problem, man.
Okay, bye.
See ya, man. I'll show
Okay.
you that picture as soon as possible.
Yeah. You can send me later. Bye.
Bye, man.
Знаешь, кто это был?